Greetings students. In the previous class we have started chapter 3 of geography, that is our changing earth. And in the previous class we have discussed about lithospheric plates, then endogenic forces, exogenic forces, volcano. So then world origin also we discussed yesterday, and we discussed these activities also. Now about we have discussed about epicenter, about focus. Okay, so let us move further now. So do you know, let us start. An earthquake is measured with a machine called a seismograph. So what is seismograph? A machine to measure an earthquake. The magnitude of the earthquake is measured on the Richter scale. An earthquake of 2.0 or less can be felt only a little. An earthquake over 5.0 can cause damage for things falling. A 6.0 or higher magnitude is considered very strong, and 7 is classified as a major earthquake. So these are some of the points which you people need to remember. So note down these points in your notebook. Now see, I think you people know about the earthquake in Nepal. That was really very disastrous. So although earthquakes cannot be predicted, the impact can certainly be minimized if we are prepared beforehand. See, these earthquakes, or we are not certain about the endogenic forces, so we cannot predict any earthquake. But if we know about, or if we are well prepared for such situations, we can minimize the destruction or the danger which can be caused by an earthquake. So in schools also we give mock drill for earthquake. Some common earthquake prediction methods adopted locally by people include studying animal behavior. Fish in the ponds get agitated. Snakes come to the surface. So these are some of the natural phenomena. Like these are related to the natural phenomena. Like if we know about the animal behavior or the behavior of the animals, then we can also come to know, because the animals they can sense such kind of dangers, and they start reacting towards such dangers. Hanji, the next, earthquake preparedness. Where to take shelter during an earthquake? Safe spot under a kitchen counter, table or desk, against an inside corner or wall. So this is if we are in an enclosed area or in a room, so or in our house, so we can sit under the kitchen counter, like the slab or a table or desk, or we can also take shelter in the corner. Next is stay away from. So which things we need not to touch? Fireplaces, areas around chimneys, windows that shattered, including mirrors and the picture framers. Like why this is given means mirrors, windows, because the mirror or these window panes can break and harm us. So we are to stay away from such things. Be prepared. Spread awareness amongst your friends and family members and face any disaster confidently. One need not to panic during any natural calamity, means any sort of calamity. So we need to handle the situation confidently and intelligently. Next is major landforms. The landscape is being continuously worn away by two processes, weathering and erosion. Weathering, underline. Weathering is the breaking up of the rocks on the earth's surface. What is weathering? Breaking up of the rocks on the earth's surface. Now, what is erosion? Erosion is the wearing away of the landscape by different agents like water, wind, and ice. Underline both, and you can write your question also. What is weathering and what is erosion? Hanji. Next is, see, so there is a difference between weathering and erosion. Weathering, breaking up of the rocks on the earth's surface, and erosion means washing away of the landscape to different by the different agents like a wind, water, and ice. The eroded material is carried away or transported by water, wind, etc., and eventually deposited. This process of erosion and deposition can create different landforms on the surface of the earth. Means wind, water, and ice erodes material from one place to and deposit it to some other place. So, due to the process of erosion and deposition, different landforms appear on the earth's surface. Work of a river. The running water in the river erodes the landscape. When the river tumbles at steep angle over very hard rocks or down a steep valley side, it forms a waterfall. See, waterfall is given here. So, what is a waterfall? When the running water, it erodes, it tumbles down or tumbles at steep angle over a very hard rock. So, this is given here. The water is falling from a high area on the solid rocks, very hard rocks. It forms a waterfall. Okay, see, hard rock, then after or the down in between there is soft rock under, cut by the water of the power of the water. See, this is a waterfall. Next, as the river enters the plain, it twists and turns, forming large bends known as meanders. Listen about these the work of a river in the plain. See, we know that in the plain the speed of the river will slow down. It slow down. Why? Because in plain area the flow is less, and in a plain area the river, it forms a zigzag path that is called meander. And when the meander loops come closer and closer, it in due course of time the meander loops cut off from the river and form a cut off lake that is known as Oxbow Lake. See, one Oxbow Lake is also shown here. This is zigzag path formed by a river in a plain, and sometimes one part of it gets cut from the main river and it forms the Oxbow Lake. See, it is given here. Then at times the river overflows its banks. This leads to the flooding of the neighboring areas. As it floods, it deposits layers of fine soil and other material called sediments along its banks. This leads to the formation of flat, fertile floodplain. Now see, when a river, there is more water in a river, so the water, it goes beyond the shores or beyond the banks of the river and enters the surrounding areas, and in those areas it deposit sand, silt and other material, and it leads to the formation of flood plains. The raised banks are called levees, as the river approaches the sea, the speed of the flowing water decreases, and so and the river begins to break up into a number of streams called distributaries. Yes, and when the river it goes near the sea or approaches the sea, it split into different water bodies, and these different streams or different water bodies are called distributaries. The river becomes so slow that it begins to deposit its load. Each distributary forms its own mouth. The collection of sediments from all the mouths forms a delta. As we discussed, that the speed of the river slows down uh, in the area where the river approaches the sea. Then it starts depositing the material that it carries with it. Okay, then there are heaps of material, and each distributary makes its own mouth. So the collection of sediments from all the mouths, it forms a delta. This is a triangular shape. See, in this picture it is given. So this is delta. So I think this is all for today, and if you have any question, any query, you can ask me or you can discuss with me tomorrow in the class. Have a great day.